I think the most important question, our last question, will come from this young lady.
Hey, don't ask me difficult questions.
I don't mean to be rude, but everybody has a limited amount on this life, but if you are trying to teach everyone something, then everyone's going to pass away soon, so what's the point?
Oh, existentialism. Uh-oh. Whew. That's another hour.
Oh.
And this is from the youngest. This is from the youngest. All right, that's a tough one, Mr. Guru.
So, if we are trying to teach something which is going to take a long time, let's say, I want to teach you something which will take 1,000 years, then your question is relevant. I'm talking about not teaching you something, just opening up a dimension within you which is naturally in a certain way. Is it true? What did you have for breakfast? What's your name? Huh?
Arna.
Aruna?
Agna.
Okay. What did you have for breakfast?
Bagel.
Bagel. Okay. So you eat a bagel. Does a bagel look like you? No. So you eat this bagel, right now this work is going on, the bagel is becoming a little girl. Yes or no? So is there an intelligence within you which is capable of turning bagel into a human being? You have. Suppose I could take a bagel in my hand and make it into a human being, who would you think I am? Must be the source of creation, isn't it? But you are doing it, you're making a bagel into a human being, you're really fantastic. When you're such a fantastic human being that you can turn a bagel into a human being, you're not a small possibility, you're a tremendous possibility. Because in 2, 3, 4 hours you can make a bagel into a human being. Is it a small phenomenon? When you're able to do such a thing, you becoming joyful, how many 1,000 years should it take? If you allow me, we can make it happen in a few minutes. But if you become an adult, it'll take a few hours.
So behind us is what could be my favorite quote of all, because it talks about what we're all here for, which is relationships. It's by Maya Angelou. It says, "People will forget what you said and what you did, but they will never forget how you make them feel." And we're on this earth together for a very short period of time. So happiness and satisfaction comes in large part from the relationships we have and what we do in those relationships. How can we implement those thoughts both in our lives and in the context of our careers?
With all due respect, what I'm saying is far more revolutionary than you be nice to me, I'll be nice to you business, because a whole lot of relationships start off with this intent, but most of the time they don't succeed. People who had the most pleasant early interactions could get into horrible states of conflict later on, all right? Individual people, groups of people, nations, all levels, it's happening. This is because I expect you to make me happy, you expect me to make you happy. This is always a time bomb. It'll tick for some time and it'll explode unless it just peters out. So, I'm telling you this, why should how I feel depend on you? Because how I feel is coming from within me. This must be determined by me, isn't it? Hello? The moment I think, I am feeling miserable because of you, there's a conflict. Yes or no? So, it's very important that human beings have to mature into this possibility that you feel joyful, you feel miserable, you feel horrible or you feel wonderful, this is essentially your doing. Somebody else, what are they doing? What they know best, they're doing. What they know best may be a lousy option, but they're doing what they know best. Right now they're abusive because that's what they know. They don't know any better. But why should that determine how I am? If the moment there is this fear of how will I feel, maybe I will suffer, once there is fear of suffering, your entire life becomes half strides. It'll never be a full stride, because the fear of suffering cripples human beings. Right now, this is what has crippled humanity, the fear of suffering. What will happen to me is always a big issue. What will happen to me should be determined by me. What happens around me, of course everybody has a stake, but what happens within me, why is it that somebody else can decide this? Whether I am blissful or miserable must be determined entirely by me, because this is in my hands, because the experience is coming from within. Somebody can stimulate something or somebody can stimulate something positive or negative, but essentially whatever the input, what I make out of it is always me, isn't it? The moment you have fear of suffering, you will not do what you could do. In our lives, if we do not do what we cannot do, there's no problem. If we do not do what we can do, we are a disastrous life. And this will happen to us, and this has happened to us in a big way to humanity. A whole lot of human beings will not do what they can do simply because of the fear of suffering. What will happen? What will happen? This must go, and this will only go if you engineer your interiority in such a way that what happens within you is entirely decided by you. What happens around you, we will collaborate. What happens within me, there is no collaboration, this is dictatorship.
Guruji, what is your ambition?
Did you just come in? No ambition, I'm just fooling around, that's all.
Guruji, I got a question for you. Can you comment about your laughter? I've seen
sorry?
a lot of people laugh, but nobody laughs like you. You have such a joyful laugh, it comes
Of
from
course,
your
everybody
from
laughs
deep within.
differently, so what's the problem with that? See, these days, these kind of things are going on. Some pathetic kind of yoga is going on. People call this laughing yoga, okay? Both of us stand in front of each other and say, you say he, I say he. This is crazy. See, this is like, you understand there must be flowers in the garden. If you want flowers in the garden, you don't buy plastic flowers and fix it there. You have to do something which doesn't look like flowers. You have to handle the soil, you have to handle the manure, water, sunlight. None of them look like flowers, none of them feel like flowers, none of them smell like flowers. But if you handle these things right, flowers will come. So laughter will come not because you have taken a stand, every day I must laugh for… because just recently I was reading somewhere, somebody is advising one American to-do teachers, what are the things you must do? Every day, 10 minutes a day, you must laugh. You will be in the psychiatry department soon. If you are in a certain state of pleasantness within you, without knowing why, a smile will spread on your face. With very little tickle, you will laugh. So, laughter is a consequence. Don't try to create the consequence. You work the process, the source. This is the… okay, this ambition can be handled like this. The young man is asking about ambition. See, ambition means you are interested in the result. Recently, when we did this business event in India, so they all came to our yoga center, which is spread over 400 acres and 4,000 plus people are living there and lot of things happening, variety of activity. All are volunteers, nobody is paid for, nobody is trained for the job and you can't fire anybody because they're volunteers. Look at my troubles. So they looked at this and said, these are all top companies in India, and they said, how do you run this place with such efficiency? We take the best people from management schools, we cannot run it like this. What is the secret of this management? I said, see, this is all. We are devotees, not devotees of some god. We are devotees of the process that we have taken on. We are devoted to the process, not to the result. Because we are so devoted to the simple process that we are doing, everything looks phenomenal and there are results. Result is a consequence. You are only interested in the flower, not in the root. You think you're going to have a flower? So, whether it is joy or success is a consequence. We are too focused on the consequence. You need to be devoted to the process.
Thank you guys very much. Thank you very much. Maybe again next year.